Hey there, it's Kay, and I want to thank you for joining me for today's video. I'm going to be budgeting my first and second paychecks of August with you guys here today and showing you my real numbers, my real income, my real expenses, and my real process. So why don't we get into it? So in my last budget video, I shared with you guys my estimated monthly budget. So my estimated income and expenses for the entire month. And I'm working with a 3 paycheck month, a golden month. Basically, that third paycheck I get is going to be one big extra debt payment on my student loan. So these estimated numbers from the monthly budget are what's in the budgeted section of these 2 paycheck budgets. Now, something that's kind of interesting based off of how I use my paychecks, because this first paycheck is actually from July, so I already knew what that value was. So as long as my expenses were everything I expected, that these numbers should match in the actual column. What actually ended up happening for me was that I actually overpaid my first month of rent in my new apartment. So my rent is a little bit cheaper than what I budgeted for. Now this is going to be an exact payment every month. I just happened to luck out on this one. So while the income numbers stay exactly the same here, what changes is my actual rent cost. We overpaid by like $100, so we decided to split the credit. So mine is $50 less, so I'm gonna owe $863 instead of $913. But my Spotify and my Sprint are the same every single month. They're on auto pay. So while I was supposed to pay $972, I'm gonna be paying $50 less than that. So I'm gonna be paying $922. And I'll have 1642 minus 922 is 720, which is 50 more than 670, so that works out. Now, this is an opportunity for me if I wanted to reevaluate the numbers I assigned for my variable expenses. Since I have extra income, this is a good time to think about that. These are already really, really high values for me, so I really do not want to be spending more than $600 a month on total variable expenses, so I'm going to stick with these values. So that means I have $120 extra. Now, I'm again going based off of my monthly budget, where I'm just continuing down the line here, where the next thing after fulfilling my variable expenses would be my savings goals. And I started with car maintenance, and just the original plan was going to throw the extra 70 at it. Since I have the 120, I'm going to throw the 120 at it, just to zero out that first paycheck budget. So I am gonna note that I need 100 and 120 for this paycheck. Now let's hop into the second paycheck. This is where things get really exciting, because although I budgeted a very modest estimate of $1,000 for my second paycheck, I got a really, really large paycheck. I've been missing some hours from a couple timesheets ago, so this is still a lot more than I would normally get, but I got paid $15.71 because that's to account for some hours I missed getting paid for. Now, after paying my rent, Spotify, and my Sprint bill, all I have left is Safeco, UMass, and Adobe. And those are not going to change because these are all auto pay bills. So those estimated values are the actual values. So if you take 1571, subtract 221, that leaves me with 1350 left over. And I have no interest in using any of that towards my variable expense spending. So naturally, we're going to move next into savings. Now, I had a goal of putting $400 into car maintenance, and off the first paycheck I can do $120. So I'm only going to need $280 of that, and then $400 for medical. So that's a total of $680. And when we subtract $680 from $1,350, we get $670. So I'm going to pay that $670 towards my Nelnet G to zero out my budget. Now what I'm going to need out of here is, let's see, 6 100s, and let's see, I'll just do 20s to make it easy. So 4 20s to make 80. So I'm gonna have to make a note to go to the bank and grab that stuff. Well, actually I can just grab that all in 100s if I really wanted to, since it's even 100s. It's still the $800 that I budgeted for. So that'll still work out for me. And that $670 will be an incredible addition to the payment I'll be making to that student loan at the end of the month. So thank you so much for watching and following along with this budget video. I really appreciate you being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.